What it is, guys, it's your boy, the man in black, the Badwolf. Alright, so people are like, well, why do you refer to yourself now as a foreign national? Well, it's all really the same thing when you're using the correct terms to reference the same kind of a person. Somebody who's operating within a private state or their own, or outside of the traditional system, you are considered foreign. And if you're from here, you're a national. You can be also in Washington, D.C. and be a national of D.C. You can be a national of the Bahamas or a Canadian national. Okay, it just means where you're born at and where you're living your life. So anyway, I digress. Let's get to it. So in this particular video, we're going to be talking about, sorry if it's blurry, the foreign national. Okay, so this happens to be from our area, but as I mentioned in other videos, download your own for your particular city. And how you do that, once again, is you're going to type in the name of your city. You're going to type in foreign nationals. So let's say Albuquerque, foreign nationals, and type in like either .pdf or .doc, but typically it's going to be in a PDF. Once you download it, for those people who are U.S. nationals, now this is not for sovereign citizens, this is not for U.S. citizens, this is for those people who know that they're a birthright and proclaim themselves to utilize their U.S. national side. Well, as I told you before, the police officers refer to us as foreign nationals. Okay, so in our particular local thing here, this is only a couple years old. What you're doing is you're downloading their standard operating procedures. Okay, and for here it's code 130, foreign nationals, diplomatic immunity, and immigration enforcement. Okay. So definition 130.05, definitions. A, foreign national. Now the reason why this is key is because if you're going to operate in the private, a lot of these officers know about what a foreign national is. They do not know that you are trying to refer to yourself as such because you're conducting yourself and saying, well, I'm a national, I'm a sovereign American, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a U.S. national. All they're hearing is blah 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 blah, or better yet, Charlie Brown. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. Yeah, okay, get out of the car. So this is to help those people identify themselves correctly and know how they are supposed to treat you, what they can and cannot do. Now, I'm not going to read through the whole packet because it's a lot of reading, and I always tell you I keep these short, so we're just going to go over a couple highlights. Okay, so their definition. This is their legal definition in the police manuals, okay? At least ours. Download your own and get familiar with it. Put it in your binder. Keep it in your car. And then, if you are pulled over, pull out your manual as you're stopping. It should be somewhere within reach, behind the back seat or in the glove compartment. Put it on the dashboard before you even stop the car or about stopping the car, so that you can always see that your hands, even though so that they can see what's going on for their safety. Because remember, they're the ones with the gun, but they don't know what you got in your vehicle, even though they're the ones walking up to you with a gun. But anyway, so put it on your dash. That way, if they try to deny that they don't know what you're talking about, you have it right there. So please lie so sweetly to me if you want. But most of the good ones are going to know what it is, okay? But this is how you protect yourself. So put in your car in park, you put it up there, and if you can, grab your ID, put it up there, just have it ready. Or have it in the seat next to you where it's available, and just keep your hands out so they can see. Okay, don't be fidgety, don't be nervous. You're just going to be talking. So from their perspective, this is when you tell them you're a foreign national, what they should know. For the purposes of this procedure, a foreign national is defined as a person. Now we're not going to break down all the terms because most of the time they're not going to know what all these legal words mean. But so let's go on. A person owing allegiance to and entitled to the protections of another sovereign state. Okay? Once again, here we hear the word sovereign. They want to say there's no such thing as sovereign. Here it is in their own books. Okay? Another sovereign state, meaning outside of their jurisdiction. Specifically, a person who claims the protections of that state and applies especially to a person living or traveling outside of that state. Simply stated, a foreign national is a citizen of another country who is in the United States. Now remember, depending on your perspective and legal understanding of the United States, to which there's at least 5 definitions of it, the United States is located in Washington, D.C. The United States of America is all the states together with a jurisdictional cloak over the top of all of it. Okay? Anyway, either legally or illegally that they're here, including both legal and permanent resident aliens and temporary visitors. Okay. Now it goes on to talk about B being diplomatic immunity, which I'm not going to say necessarily all foreign nationals are. Some aren't. If you are in control of your own state and declared, then you have diplomatic immunity. If you're not, then you're just operating as a foreign national. You can operate either way depending on your circumstances. This is educational information only. So just know thyself, okay? Okay, it's more citizenship. The term reference refers to the country in which a person is a lawful. I like how they say lawful citizen. Nice. Okay. General procedures. Okay. When a police member arrests or detains a person, the police shall inquire as to that person's citizenship to determine whether or not any consulate notification or obligations may apply. So they're supposed to ask you what your citizenship is so they know how to deal with you. A lot of them will forego that and just jump right into it because essentially whether they realize it or not, they're engaging in a commercial activity because they're trying to get you to contract. Okay? Which, once again, this is not for U.S. citizens. U.S. citizens, you have to abide by all of Caesar's statutes and what his men tell you to do, whether it's right or wrong, unfortunately. This is for U.S. nationals and foreign nationals. So, typically, they don't have the jurisdiction to do things to you, but if you do deprive somebody of their rights, you do damage somebody who's a U.S. citizen, or you do damage to U.S. property, you have allowed them to pull you into jurisdiction because you've damaged that particular state. Okay, so in general, they're supposed to notify the shift commander of the place in the detention and provide the shift commander with a detailed account of circumstances that led up to the arrest. So they can't just, do whatever they want to do. There has to be a reason, and it has to be solid that they're doing this. Otherwise, once, whether it's a cop or a judge, does something, whether they know it or not, that is illegal, okay, or they're just not sure, even if it's fuzzy, at that point in time, they lose their state's immunity and they become a person who is operating in the private and they're off the books. Okay, they're out of the protection. They've stepped out of it, which means they can be held personally for all types of damages and everything. I mean, everything. Okay, they are supposed to be notified of the right to have their government informed of the detention or the potential arrest. You, as one of these people, you have the right to have your embassy or consulate notified, which if you are your own state and hence diplomatic, you are the one who they would need to notify. So hey, just so you guys know, I'm operating on my own private state, and don't go around people just trying to say that if you haven't done the paperwork and let them know who you are and whatever else. You can't just use fancy words. Okay, this is why some of them get PO'd. Do the research. Okay, it says they will notify then the appropriate embassy. They have to send some things to the U.S. Department of State. They have to fill out Form PD3E. They have to notify the on-duty shift commander. If in the event the country of origin is not listed on the U.S. Department website for, the particular person, they have to contact Washington, D.C. for assistance and direction. Okay. This goes on to talk about some visitations, death, and foreign nationals suffering from life-threatening injuries, and diplomatic immunity, criminal investigations, so traffic enforcement, stopping a mission member or independent, and issuing a traffic citation for a moving violation does not constitute an arrest or detention